You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Green Bay police are investigating an incident in Joannes Park Monday at about 11:30 in the morning where a juvenile was allegedly assaulted by a masked man. The suspect is described as a white male, 6 foot tall. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, gray sweatpants, and a black ski mask and gloves. People with information are asked to call the Green Bay police. Marquette County officials confirmed that the children involved in a tragic fatal shooting over the weekend were in fact siblings. A 7-year-old boy fatally shot his 3-year-old sister in Crystal Lake. The children are not from the area, but were visiting family members with their mother. Officials say the situation is tragic and devastating for all involved. No other details are being released. A former teacher at Appleton West High School has been officially charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a child by a school staff member. Appleton police say they received a complaint this March that Rebecca Ryan of Neenah engaged in a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student while she was employed as a teacher during the 2017-18 school year. She was not employed as a teacher at the time of her arrest. They say there's no evidence that other students were involved or harmed. The 43-year-old Ryan made her initial court appearance in Outagamie County Court last week, where a cash bond of $50,000 was set. Ryan has a preliminary hearing scheduled for today. We're keeping an eye on gas prices for you. Here's Civic Media's Melissa Kay.
Gas prices fell 4.6 cents last week, landing at an average of $2.93 today. This is 21.7 cents per gallon lower than a month ago and a little over 40 cents lower than this time last year. The national average is $3.50 per gallon. Officials at Gas Buddy say OPEC Plus has agreed to increase oil production beginning in June as oil prices are near their lowest levels since the COVID-19 pandemic. Refinery output is expected to rise soon as ongoing maintenance wraps up. Gasoline supplies could increase and the national average may drop below $3 per gallon.
In Green Bay, gas is averaging $2.86 a gallon, and in Appleton and Oshkosh, $2.85 a gallon. Yesterday was a day of awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women. Savannah Tomei Olson has more.
The Great Lakes Intertribal Council even expands that definition to include any Indigenous relative who's missing or has been murdered. 4 in 5 people of Indigenous heritage are victimized at some point in their lives. That's according to a report from Congress. Desiree Tody works at the Center Against Sexual and Domestic Abuse. She's a member of the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa.
And there's jurisdictional issues that come into play as to how things are investigated, how things are tried, and there's always racism. There's less attention paid to the individuals that some of these things happen to.
According to data from the U.S. Department of Justice, Native American women and girls are murdered at a rate 10 times higher than the national average. They only make up 1% of the population.
The Trump administration is terminating a grant program that supports mental health staffing in schools. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction was informed last week that the U.S. Department of Education is terminating the Biden-era school-based mental health professionals grant. The program provided $1 billion in federal grants that districts in 22 states across the country have been using to hire mental health professionals, including counselors and social workers. Wisconsin's grant was for $10 million. According to the DPI, the initial $2.2 million has already been received, but the remaining $8 million over 4 years will be canceled. Waupun Correctional Institution and Green Bay Correctional are the oldest prisons in Wisconsin, over 100 years old apiece. What does their future hold? Joanne Krulatz reports on a hearing about the prisons at the state capitol.
Governor Tony Evers has included $530 million in his next budget for the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. DOC Secretary Jared Hoy testified in front of an assembly committee Tuesday. He says aging facilities need to be updated, with Waupun and Green Bay Correctional Institutes having been built in the 1800s. Evers' proposal would close the Green Bay Correctional Institution and convert others while also expanding the earned release program. Republican leaders in the legislature are skeptical of the plan.
Spring. As the grass turns green and the flowers start to bud, allergy strike. Here's meteorologist Brittany Merlot with more.
Allergy season has arrived. I'm sure you've already felt it. The sneezing, runny nose, itchy, watery eyes. And the main over-the-counter meds used to manage it are antihistamines or decongestants.
For our antihistamines, if you're having watery eyes, sneezing, or if you're having like a runny nose, antihistamines are the best medication to use for those symptoms. For decongestions, if you're having like a stuffy nose or nasal congestion, a decongestants will be a best choice for that. But if you are experiencing all symptoms, using both medications will have a complete relief.
That's Rebecca Tao, a pharmacy resident with Aspirus Health. She says seek medical attention if your symptoms are severe and persistent, and be mindful of potential drug interactions.
Especially to treat high blood pressure, or if you're taking sedative medications such as opioids or anti-anxiety medications or antidepressant medication, because taking these medications together can cause unwanted side effects, or it can also reduce the effectiveness of your prescription drugs.
And there are other ways besides pills she says you can use to reduce symptoms with lifestyle changes or having certain environmental strategies.
You'll want to wash your hands or face frequently, or take showers after you're outdoor, use a purifier in the house, or just cleaning your house regularly can help reduce your allergy symptoms.
And research shows that allergies have only been getting worse, with deteriorating air quality and warming temperatures.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Brewers are back to 500. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska filling in for Mike Clemens. Christian Yelich hit a 2-run home run as Milwaukee won its second game in a row.
Yelich bangs one into right center. It is high and deep and gone!
That call courtesy of FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. That blast was part of a 3-run third inning for the Brewers, winning 5-1 over the Houston Astros last night. The home run was the highlight, but it was a team effort.
Everybody's going to notice Yellie's homer, and obviously the Hoskins 2 hits with a big double there, but Bowers' bunt hit made that kid throw extra pitches and got us deeper in the inning.
Milwaukee's pitchers came to work, allowing just 1 run in the 5-1 victory with no walks last night against the Houston Astros. Starting pitcher Tobias Myers did well.
He set the tone, he threw strikes, that was it. He attacked the zone with all 3 pitches. Never really got to his changeup much, but he attacked his zone.
The bullpen didn't allow a run.
Mears coming in the way he did, and Anderson facing the meat of the order in the 8th. That's kind of his first chance doing that, and I thought Piams and Koenig both threw the ball well, too. So good pitching performance and clutch hitting at the right time, and happy for our guys.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. It'll be the same 2 teams, Brewers and Astros, again tonight. The 2 teams wrap up their 3-game series tomorrow afternoon. 1 week from tomorrow, the NFL will announce its 2025 schedule. The Green Bay Packers will have 8 home games and 9 away games. In addition to the home-and-home games against the Bears, Vikings, and Lions in the NFC North, the Packers will play each team in the NFC East and AFC North, as well as Carolina, Arizona, and Denver next year. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Sebastian Stan is probably the favorite to play Luke Skywalker in any future Star Wars production. Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, is in favor of Stan taking over the role. Hamill and Stan have discussed the idea, and Stan is open to it, but might have scheduling issues as he is set to star in 2 upcoming Marvel films. Not such a bad thing for an actor to have 1 foot in 2 huge universes. Here's one of Pete's picks. It's taken me a couple weeks, but I finally got to the theater and saw Sinners. It is wildly entertaining. From the script to the acting, set design, and music, Ryan Coogler's film is an absolute spectacle. Michael B. Jordan plays twin brothers Smoke and Stack, who return to the South after working for the Chicago mob. With their stolen money and goods, they open a juke joint in the country, which is descended upon by vampires. Word to the wise, if you see the film, stay through the credits because the last scene of the movie takes place after the roll. Curious choice, but nevertheless, absolutely check it out. The summer movie season has arrived and is off to a pretty good start if this past weekend was any indication. The film Thunderbolts opened in first place domestically with $76 million. The opening is impressive considering the characters in the film are not some of the more Marvel marquee names, according to Variety. Good reviews and a good audience score should keep the movie in theaters for a while and give it legs. Another film that has shown incredible staying power is Sinners, which finished number 2 this week, bringing in $33 million, which is only a 28% drop-off from last week's take, which was only a 6% drop-off from its opening weekend haul. Sinners also had excellent reviews and obviously great response from audiences. Finishing in the third spot was the Minecraft Minecraft movie, which also is showing some resiliency, bringing in $13.5 million in its fifth week. The top 5 was rounded out by The Accountant 2 with $9.5 million and horror film drama Until Dawn at just under $5 million. Have a great summer at the box office, everybody. Donald Trump was in the news this past weekend. No, seriously. The president claims he is going to save Hollywood and movies by imposing 100% tariffs on movies made outside the United States. There is a lot to be worked out, obviously, and only time will tell how this will be executed. According to Variety, the reaction in the Hollywood community was one of shock. This could affect or even kill a project by one of his own ambassadors to Hollywood, Mel Crazytown Gibson, who is planning to shoot his Passion of the Christ sequel in Italy. The president called movies being made outside our borders a national security threat, which exposed Americans to propaganda. The president was unclear if it was more dangerous than his own homespun propaganda. It's a good thing he's acting fast before the British thespian invasion overtakes our republic. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Partly cloudy today with a high in the upper 60s to low 70s this afternoon. Tonight, clear with a low of 50. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and cooler. Temperatures in the low 60s. And then on Thursday, sunny with a high in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it is 60.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.